So let me talk about mobile, because this is a really big part of the story and how stories are changing, or how story building is changing throughout the world. So over half of our usage today is through mobile devices, and more importantly, and more interestingly, 1 in 6 new users actually join the platform using a mobile device. And when I actually show you high fidelity and low fidelity devices here, that's for a reason. So in many countries throughout the world, if you just have a low-end feature phone, you can still get tweets to your phone by following an @ symbol, the username, to 40404. It's something we call fast follow, and allows tweets to flow pretty quickly, whether it's through high fidelity or low fidelity. It's kind of like tweets are like water. They'll flow through any pipe you put them through. This is a picture of the iPhone 5 website on Apple. So in some ways, mobile was part of our past, but it's certainly part of our future. Apple is making some announcements today, but earlier in the quarter, we actually made an announcement with Apple that Twitter will be integrated at the iOS level. So full and deep integration. I'll show you what that looks like, again, right from their website. So if you go to apple.com/iOS/iOS 5, it's now going to be easier than ever to connect through Twitter and actually create great content. So here's a really good example of you taking a picture on the phone. It's bringing the word or the verb tweet to a core menu level item on the device, and a quick way to tweet from there. So you go back to the woman that was actually in the middle of the riot who was trying to create that piece of content. We think there's going to be a ton less friction now in actually creating great stories and great content on the platform. So what does this mean for brands? The interesting thing is the company's been around for 5 years. Brands have been part of the platform from day one. And consumers are actually extremely comfortable, in fact demanding, about following brands. In fact, I'm going to show you one of our best users who talks about following brands on the platform.
I like to follow my homegirl, Martha Stewart. Because Martha Stewart, she keeps it scudded and buttered, baked and flaked, and she loves to wake and bake with the big Snoop Dogg. You feel me? Follow me.
So you can follow Snoop. I'm giving Snoop followers now. You can follow Snoop at Snoop Dogg. That's 2 G's. This was a study that was just republished by eMarketer. Most Twitter users follow at least 5 or more brands. Obviously, it could be big marketers and also smaller brands as well. When asked why do people follow brands in the first place, like who are these people, turns out the results are not that surprising. So this was a Compete study that was just published a couple months ago. The answer is content, access, and certainly offers. The other interesting thing is influence. So Twitter followers are more likely to recommend and take action. 56% likely to recommend, 62% actually go to the website, 59% actually likely to purchase. It's a really great study that you should go check out at Compete. In terms of influence, in terms of purchase decision, 2 in 3 users say that Twitter influences purchases. So part of the reason that is because we've rolled out some tools for marketers. Now, we've just rolled these out over the last year. So some of the stuff I'm going to show you are fresh examples from people actually using the platform. So how many people are actually using the platform? This is one of the things I'm most proud of. As I said, we started testing with marketers back in March of 2010. We had a handful, less than 5, I think, that were on the platform. Today, we now have over 1,500. Actually, the number we just announced today on the blog is 1,600 marketers using the platform. The other number I'm really proud of is over 80% retention rate. So if you buy from us once, you buy from us again over 80% of the time, which means it's a good signal that it's working. So let me talk about the tools in the platform that marketers can use to run campaigns on Twitter. The #1 driving concept about what we built was this, that it had to be 100% organic and natural to the platform. Here's why. We had 5 years to actually observe how people were using the platform in the first place. And what we built then is just what people were already doing on the platform, just better return on energy, ultimately, for them. One of the quick story on some of the driving forces for this is we sat back and we tried to figure out what we were going to build. And we started thinking about which ad platforms in the world really worked, what really resonated with the audience. We actually came on 2 interesting thoughts. One is that television back in the day really worked. Part of the reason why it worked is that the content platform and the ad platform actually were not very different. Right? And here's what I mean. On TV, the content provider tells a story. Right? Usually it's a 30-minute story that's got a story arc. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. And then in between, there are nano stories, 30-second stories, provided by marketers, right? That also have story arcs, beginnings, middles, and ends. But at the end of the day, the stories that two people are telling are not very different. In fact, they're interweaved together. Search is sort of the same way, and search is a little bit more, obviously, question and answer based, but you ask a high-quality question of search, you get back high-quality answers, and then some of those answers are provided by marketers. It's the same foundation that we decided to build our ad platform on, which is that the ads and the content live very close together.